Will you share today's recording session with us,
Yes,
sir, just for revisit?
yes. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Feel free to ask
Vedam,
me. Yes.
we had briefly touched on a topic regarding snowflakes. So, what benefit does it provide amongst other DBMS? Is it are they selling it in terms of performance, cost, or something?
You said you touched 2 points. 2 points are valid for Snowflake. In terms of cost, that is better. In terms of performance, also that is better for warehouse purpose only. Snowflake
So
supports.
complete.
Snowflake supports complete modern data warehouse features, including.
So it's completely for. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So it's a data warehousing system, not a OLTP DB system, basically.
Yes. It's a warehouse system that to talk it as a modern data warehouse.
Sir, do you have any other
Is it
products like
completely cloud-based as well?
Completely cloud-based.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, I see Data Explorer recently released by Microsoft. So is it also supports streaming and batch?
Not that data explorer is not can capture the stream, but not good for the stream. If you want to use the stream, go for Azure Stream. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, one question. Like we have Azure Databricks and Data Factory in Azure. Snowflake also have any separate products or just data warehouse?
It's just a warehouse. That's it.
Just a warehouse.
But
okay,
how you? But one thing here, Azure Data Engineer has 8 products, but Snowflake single product can do all the things. Even if you want to write, even you can write your Spark coding also. Okay, you can process the data with Spark also. Same how we have Databricks, same the Databricks is available for Snowflake even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I think all of you understood after seeing these 7 product purposes, you might have understand what exactly the role you are going to play as a data engineer in the industry.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt here. So, like, we have schedulers like Beam and Airflow, but do we have such things in Azure here?
Yes. Even suppose if we talk about ADF has pipeline scheduling features.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, when do we use USQL and when do we use Databricks?
Yeah. So here the lady asked the question, when to use USQL, when to use Databricks. Already answer delivered yesterday only. So someone please can you answer me about this?
Yeah, my question is basically related to same one, the that is Azure Data Analytics and Azure Synapse Analytics. So what is the difference and when we have to use which one?
Okay. First, let me conclude this question. USQL and Databricks, then we go for that.
For structured, we should go for USQL. For non-structured and structured, we should go for Databricks.
No, I am not accepting.
And also the fast processing, that ETL, ELT thing also is there.
Yes.
ETL go for USQL, ELT go for Databricks.
Simply small volume.
No, so Shivaram, what about unstructured small volume? You can go for USQL?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
But
Databricks leverages Spark computing, right? And data analytics, it uses a different computing.
Yes, the execution style of Spark is completely different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why always go with whenever batch process come into the picture, go with the Databricks. Okay, but definitely if you go to the interview, definitely they will ask you what about a USQL.
Is there any specific use case that you recommend for data lake analytics?
Instead of storing data into Hadoop and processing with Spark, so keep your data into data lake and process with Databricks.
So whenever a minimal transformation is required, then we can go for it.
Not minimal transformation. You're talking about data lake, right?
Yeah.
Data lake, just treat it as storage. Backend is blue file system and process with Databricks. Okay.
So Shivaram, this data lake, specifically in general, we have a term called as data lake, or Azure only started this data lake?
No. General term is data lake. General
Correct.
term data
So,
lake. Same data lake in Azure, that is Azure data lake.
So in data lake, usually we capture the raw data and all. That is what we call it as data lake, and difference between data warehouse and data lake.
That means all in case of warehouse, only structured content will be there. In case of data lake, any all kinds of data will be there.
So raw data, we can consider
Yes,
it as a
yes,
raw data will be data
yes.
lake, whereas structured disciplined data in warehouse.
Yes, because you take any organization, max to max only 20% is structured data, but remaining all the data unstructured, semi-structured like that.
So in the Databricks, I could see the Delta Lake versus Data Lake. What exactly?
That is just optimized version. You can say optimized version to data lake for the backend storage of that one.
Okay. So does it include Azure or only in GCP?
In Azure also that is available. I think the GCP, I did not check the feature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, it is a feature in Databricks. I mean, Delta Lake format.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, I think it is
Yeah,
for
now
Spark
industry
3.
is focusing on Delta Lake.
Spark 3 version Delta Lake is available. It's
Yes.
not for Databricks, I believe.
I think maybe it came up with complete from the core Apache. Okay, later we can check the documentation about the history and who started it and everything. We can check it later. Okay, so please answer this question, sir. I think already answered delivered. Okay, so USQL will support small volumes. You can recommend this USQL. For big volumes of processing with a high speed, blindly go for Databricks. Okay. Now let us step into USQL. So for now, briefing, next sessions onward, completely practical implementations will be there. So generally, all of you know SQL means what is SQL? Structured query language. To process your tables data, you will be using SQL. But in USQL, that is only for recommended for only batch process. This USQL has basically 3 parts will be there in the coding. In the scripting, this is simply called not as a code, you can call it as a script. So in this scripting of USQL, you have 3 parts. The first initial part is extraction, extract data. And second thing is process. Process means, let's say, data cleansing and transformations, required transformations. And the third step is finally load. That means you can say write into target file or target storage, whatever it may be. So to understand about the Databricks, before we step into the Databricks of Azure, so first we see the basic implementations. So this weekend, so how to perform USQL analytics. So with these 3 activities, a sample code I will give you here. If it is USQL, think that I have a file. Let's say the file name is something. I will show you the file.
So like when we say extract, are we connecting to any other external systems like Oracle? So are we using ADF here to extract data? Like how do you
yeah, at that time go for ADF. If it is external system database, then go for ADF. If data is already available in data lake, use USQL. Okay, the source should be from data lake. Okay, first let me show some sample data. Where is that? Already I'm in Notepad only.
Sir, USQL is nothing but ETL operations we are doing, right? Extract, then cleansing, and then loading.
Yes. later you will get clarity once you understood this product, when to use USQL, when to use Databricks, when to use ADF, everything, the clarity. As our journey goes, everything you will be getting that clarity. Don't worry.
So far we haven't we haven't heard Azure Blob, right? Like we're not we don't use it often, or mostly we will go with that data lake, right?
Data lake. Initially blobs are next level, data lake next level, data lake generation 2, gen process 2.
I have one doubt. Actually, Azure is a infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or software as a service.
After my explanation, what is your understanding? Today
It is everything. It is everything.
It is everything. Okay. Because it is giving products and also it is giving infrastructure, everything related to you. Okay. Okay. Simple here. Just observe. There are 4 records are here. Okay. Maybe the schema. The first one is the thing that these are the IDs. ID. First one is ID. Second one name. Third one salary, gender, and department number. In this way, the file source can be single or multiple, whatever it may be. Multiple files also there, and single file also can be there. Think that you have such kind of files are there in your system. Suppose that too, the file is in a data lake. In the data lake, the path is like this. Suppose my data. Under that, the file is let's say profiles.txt. It can be txt file or CSV file or a tab separated value TSV file. It can be of anything. Just observe a sample code for today. So how exactly the USQL code shape will be there, you can understand. First step is extraction. Okay. I want to read data from this file. Think that the file is already available in your data lake. Okay. So here the statement should be like this. Extract. In my file, I have 5 fields. In my file, I have 5 fields. Specify the schema for that. Suppose the first one is ID. The second field is name. The third field, salary. Interlong. The fourth field is gender. The last field is department number. The schema I have provided. After that, you are specifying the path of source from by using the keyword from. What is my path, file path here? My data. And file name is profiles.txt. After that, what is the format of the file you need to specify? Using the keyword here, using. To read data, you have extractors in USQL. Extractors dot CSV. This is statement number 1. Automatically, all the file data will be read during execution. Okay. So when you step into the practical part, you will see like how you will analyze this data. Observe here. Now my first step is completed now. And after that, directly I am coming to third step. I want to write into some target.
So what is extractor.csv?
So this is the formatter for reading data. Okay.
CSV also.
Dot CSV.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose if your file format is a TSV file, say dot TSV.
Okay.
If it is plain text, simply say text of.
Okay.
Is it the output file? We are extracting to the output file, right?
No. We are reading data. We are reading data from existed file.
We are reading data from extractor.csv.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our file is what? This is the file. So we are reading data from that particular file. Suppose I want to write into a separate file. So in the third step, there is a transformation. Later we will see the transformation. Directly straight away I am coming into the third step. I want to write into some target. Output. The statement is here. Output. Output to 2.
Are we not dealing with tables here? What's the table name?
So it is not the table, it is a file. Data lake means that it's completely a file. Okay. Output to 2. What is the
What is the
target?
purpose of giving this data type here, Shivaram integer string? Do we need to check back what is there in my file first of all?
Yes, first of all, you have to check it. First of all,
It's a
you have
problem,
to.
right? If I have 200 columns, then I need to check each and every column.
That's why without checking, your system cannot understand what is the first field, what is the second field, what is the third field. You have to provide the schema for that. Okay.
These names are also similar to the names what are all there in my text.
Yes. So if it is in our file, already you checked the file data is shaped like this. First of all,
Right.
You have to understand this data. What exactly the data structure?
No, maybe today it is number. Tomorrow it may be a character, and I can maintain 201 in a character also, right?
At the time, change the data type. That's it.
Is there any option of inferring schema?
Not direct option. There is a facility called headers will be there.
Yeah.
Okay. With that header using extractors, you can apply that schema. Suppose think that for now you just don't go deeper, just understand what is the shape of your USQL. Okay. So I want to write into the target output to give the file path. Suppose I want to write into.
Sir,
I want to write into
the data.
Pardon?
Do you need to extract this data sequentially? Like if I want to extract data randomly, can I?
No. Random reading is not possible here. It's only for the batch reading. Okay. That means step by record reading. That in a parallel process. So how exactly the parallel process? What is the architecture of that data lake? Once data lake architecture explained, you will understand. Okay. Results. I want to write data into, let's say my file is result 1. Think that here I have performed some transformation. Result 1. That too I want to write into another text format. But I don't want the tab spaces. I don't want commas into the file. I want tab spaces in the file. Okay. Output using. Here we have outputters. .ts.
So where are you performing all these things? Are you opening any tool kind of thing within that framework we are writing these things?
Yes. Okay.
And this outputters.tsv will be in the data lake where we have connected the target system.
Yes, the profiles is from data lake, and this result 1 is also into the data lake.
The profiles may be in my local machine, right?
So if it is local
or
machine, again, if it is local machine, first you will bring that local file into your data lake. Once
you're storing both the input and output within data lake.
Once the data came into the data lake, then you are processing here. In the second step, you will be processing the data. So just observe the shape. This is the first step. I am using extractor here to read the data.
Okay.
So here I am using outputters to write the data. But what about between them? Between them, there will be process. Okay. Suppose I want to generate some small summary. Apply the query. Here one thing, extract, but you did not keep this data into any data variable. Okay. So for that, as per USQL code, you need to give one object name, one variable name. @ data is equals to, this is the statement. Okay. At the time of writing also, you have to specify the data object. Suppose I am specifying the data object here, output data 2, results 1. The file name is res1.txt using outputters.tsv. So similar to the SQL statement, every statement should be terminated with semicolon. So between them, I want to perform transformation. Suppose my transformed data is like this, a transformation. TR is equal to, I am writing a select query. Select, first I am expecting ID column, next name, next salary. After that salary, suppose I want to apply a tax. Salary into, let's say 10% tax I'm applying as tax. Okay. Some HRA I want to apply. Salary into HRA. That means salary into, let's say 20% is the HRA. 0.2 as HRA. And after that, I want to compute net salary also. salary plus HRA minus tax as, let's say net salary, and then I need gender, and finally department number from table name. So the previous data object is acting as our data object is data. This data object is acting as a table. It's not physical table. You can compare with a view. Okay, data. Instead of writing this data into the output, I will write the transformed output. The transformed output into the target system, target file. Other here, totally 3 steps are involved: extracting data, performing required transformation, finally writing the results into the target system. All of you understood this? The basics.
I have a question here. This HRA and tax will be will have values here itself, or do we have to write some outer query? Like usually.
So here I have calculated here. Think that my requirement is that one based on the salary, I want to compute that tax, 10% tax for each row I want to apply. That's why I calculated here. So now what will be the output file fields? In the input file, you have only 5 fields, but in the output file, you have ID, name, salary, tax, HRA, department, net salary, gender, and a grade. All the things are available.
Just one question, like
Yes.
what will be the scope of @data, like till when we can access that and access the data from like the variable?
During that job only, during that session, better word.
Okay.
Because this is not a physical object. Your physical data is available in this file.
Right.
Okay. During that job execution only, the data object you are creating, the data object is acting as a table.
Okay.
So
Once
we
job
can
execution
call it
completed,
as a temporary tables.
Temporary table now. Maybe you can compare.
Hello. Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, if we have 200 columns, do we need to define all those 200 columns and data types?
Yes.
Is there any way to dynamically define those objects?
If a file has already existed schema, that means if first line is header, then in the extractors you can modify that one.
Okay.
Okay, that technical information later. Okay. Suppose if file is not having any schema, that means they did not specify the header, means at the time manually you have to apply all this schema.
And another question here, in the first part where you mentioned as at the date equal to, right?
Yes.
If the each of the data is separated with a pipe or maybe a semicolon, what is that extractors we're going to use? Is this the same? Because CSV is mentioned for comma separated value.
Yes.
But if it is not a comma separated value, then we still use it as extractors.csv.
Not extractors.csv, because suppose your data is like this. Data is like this, go for .csv. If data is not like this, suppose the first is question mark, next one is a semicolon, at the time use regular expressions.
Okay. And even there are like four records we have here.
Yes.
And each of those records has a different set of delimiters. It has a comma, it has a colon, it has a question mark, it has a hash as well. If there is like different differentiators.
Yeah, if it is like that, if a schema is different from record to record, your SQL is not at all the solution for that kind of problem.
Okay.
Okay, SQL not at all solution for that problem. So by preparing your manual jobs, manual coding, you need to process. SQL will not help you for that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So all of you, please observe this one. Okay, one minute. Please let me explain this. After that, we come back to that question.
Sure.
Yeah. So here three parts. The first part you are reading data, that means extracting. Second part you are performing required transformation. The third part is writing into the output. A little extension I am doing. So what kind of transformation it is, sir? What are the work we did? What kind of transformation it is? A row level transformation or a summary level transformation?
Row level transformation.
So what do you mean by row level transformation? That means the required computation will happen for each and every row.
Yes.
Okay. Suppose you want to apply a filter. Observe my second code. I want to take only males data, sir. Already you know SQL, directly apply the SQL statement over here. Suppose select star from, the table is data. Where
Gender is equal to male.
gender equals to male. Okay, sir, all of you, please go mute. Suppose here, here I am changing the file name, the target file name.
Are you equating Z is equal to M, or are you comparing?
Equating. Not equating, we are checking the condition, that means comparing. End value is equal to male value, M value. Because in our data, we specified the genders like this. M, F, like that.
No, I'm asking about the double equation you have used there.
Double equal to means that is condition check. Okay, for condition check, double equals to. Same similar to JavaScript or Java like that, Python. Okay, come back to the code again. So this is called simply a filter. The previous work is transformation. Okay. One more thing I want to show you, the conditional transformations I want to show you. The conditional transformations like this. For example, ID as usual, name as usual, third one salary. Please observe my task. Please observe my task first. Okay. After completion of this, come back to question. If it is salary, I want to transform salary into grades. Like A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, like this, based on the salary. I want to transform this one. And also you have gender values. You have gender values here like M, F, like that. I want to transform M as male, F as female. Okay. And think that still there is another field, department number. I have departments like 11 department, 12 department, 13 department, and there is 14, 15, and like this. Sir, mute please.
I think it's better
So you please mute, and I have a humble request.
So I have 11, 12, 13, 14 departments. I want to transform 11 as marketing, 12 as HR, 13 as finance, and remaining all the departments as others. I want to transform like this. This is a summary or transformation, this kind of thing. Still, you are expecting this kind of transformation for each and every row. That's why simply this is a row level transformation only finally. So you are simply taking raw data and you are shaping up of your data with required transformations. So what is the code here? First, as usual, we need to read the data. For this, you have this statement. Okay. I'm writing this. Once data is read, this time let's concentrate on first gender, sir. Only gender. What is the statement? To perform a conditional transformation, simply the statement is there is a 10 array operator. Condition, question mark, true value. If the condition false, false value. Suppose if you give any condition, if condition is true, the true value will be returned. If condition false, the false value will be returned. Okay. So by using this technique, I'm going to transform this data. For example, here I'm doing like this. Let's say step 1. My data object is step 1 now. Select ID. The first column I need ID. No transformation required for that. Next column name as it is I want. Third one salary. For now, for some time, I keep salary as salary, department number as department number, and I'm going to work with gender now. So here I am giving a condition. The condition should be like this. If gender equals to M, if gender equals to M, okay. If this condition is true, I am returning male. Else, think that there are no null values here. If there are null values existed, first of all, you have to clean that data. About data cleansing related transformations, we will see in the next class. Okay, if this condition is true, in the place of true value, I said male, otherwise female to be returned. Got it? So whenever you apply some expression, for that you need to set one alias as by using the keyword as I'm giving the field name as still gender. Now what fields are there here? ID is there, name is there, gender is there. Okay, I keep this gender in the place of third, in third column position. Next, I need to concentrate on salary. Look at only salary. If you are new to the SQL, don't worry. So to try to understand what logic is going to be applied for this. Suppose my requirement is like this. If salary is less than or equals to 30,000, I want grade as D. If salary greater than 30 and is less than or equals to 50, then the grade should be C. If person salary is greater than 50 and less than or equals to 75, then the grade should be B. Still it is greater than 75. I want to transform it as grade A. Observe here, I have only two options, either male or female. That's why this kind of model is okay. But now here I have four options, either A grade or B grade or C grade or D grade. If options are more than two, go for nested conditions. How exactly the nested conditions shape will be there, please observe. I'm writing a condition for salary. Salary greater than or equals, less than or equals to 30. If this condition is true, I want to return the value D grade. Else, in the place of else, I'm giving one more condition. So when I will come to the else, if the given condition got failed, if this condition got failed means definitely value is above 30. Okay, then I am giving in the place of else false value, I am giving one more condition. The condition is like this, is salary less than or equals to 50 this time. I came to here means salary is already greater than 30, because this failed means salary is definitely greater than 50. Then I am checking with less than or equal to 50. If this condition is true, I want to return the value, which is C grade. Still condition false. This condition false means salary is greater than 50. If it is false, in the place of false value, I am checking one more condition. The condition is like this. If salary less than or equals to 75, then grade should be B. Still false. If this condition also false means definitely value is above 75, then I am returning A grade. Okay. So here I am giving one bracket for you. So this entire thing is one single condition. Okay. So one more bracket here I will give. This is for the second nested. Right. So this entire thing is one single expression. So for this, I want to set one alias as what's the field name? Let's say grade. Okay. Now I have three fields. So field number 1 ID, field number 2 name. The third field is gender. Okay, third field gender I am keeping. The fourth field salary I am keeping. As a fifth field, we are generating a new field now. Okay, we are generating a new field, that is grade. Based on this, the next field I am going to work with is a department number. If it is department number, what the transformation we are expecting? If department number value is 11, go for marketing. If it is 12, HR. If it is 13, finance. Other than these three things, if it is not 11, not 12, not 13, then for all remaining, I want to make it as others. The department name should be as others. Okay. So this thing I want to generate, this field I want to generate as a next field. So here I'm going to write the condition for that. The condition, department number equals to 11. Then what I'm expecting, if it is 11, I'm expecting the value marketing. If this condition falls, I'm going to check with one more condition. If it is not 11, I am checking with the department number 12. If it is true, return the value HR. False, check one more condition. I'm checking the condition here, like department number equals to 13. If it equals to 13, what is the value expected? Finance. Still it is false. If it is not 11, not 12, not 13, remaining all the departments as others. So one bracket here. And one more bracket here. So this entire thing is single expression. This entire thing is single expression. For this expression, I'm giving one alias name as department name. Okay. So now check how many fields are there in our select expression, select columns. ID, name, second one. Third one is gender. Fourth one salary. Fifth one grade. Sixth one is department name. From what is your data object? My data object is data @data. See here, the data object data has raw data. After that, I performed transformation. The transformed content is available in data object step 1. Okay. After that, I can write this step 1 into my output. For writing output, you have the statement output. Which data you want to write? The step 1 data I want to write. Into which target? Specify the path of your data lake. Suppose results. Let's say result 2.txt. Using the outputter formatter, you have to specify. Using outputters, I want to write into CSV format. Outputters.csv. Observe here totally in this also you have 3 steps. Step 1, step 2. Step 2 is transformation. Transformation, before transformation, cleansing. In this way, you have to design your pipeline. The final step is here, writing final transformed content into your target data lake file system. Okay. So this is what the basic shape. So the basic work with the USQL. 1 minute, I'm unmuting you.
So here this indentation is important.
Yes. Indentation means these spaces you are asking, right? Not important. Those are not important. Just to make understanding easy, I'm writing in structured way. That's it.
Sir, what are these extractors CSV and outputters CSV? Are these the templates or configuration files?
So those are the predefined C# classes. Use it to read data, use it to write data.
So if we want to write in a particular separator, then how we'll use it, sir? It's like if we are used to hashtag or dollar as a separators.
That means column separators you are asking about.
Yeah, sir.
So if the fields are like this, suppose in the case of, suppose here I have specified. So let's talk about this one. Extract for reading. Okay. Treat that line as an entire plain text. Okay. Here separator you need to specify. Separator equal to, suppose you have a dollar separator, specify the dollar symbol. Like this. In this way, different options are there for. Don't worry about those options. And when time comes, I will explain you everything. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
transform data object step 1. It will dump into this result2.txt. So
Yes.
this file will automatically be created during the runtime.
Yes, during the after completion of job execution, final step is the result2 file will be created automatically.
Okay.
Suppose results. Suppose there is a folder here. Results. If results folder not available, it will create it.
Okay.
If available, it will write into existed folder.
Yeah.
When it comes to table load, to Shivaram, so then the table also gets created with the target table.
But here, in the case of USQL, you don't touch any tables.
So, sir, I want to ask.
You are reading data from data lake and writing data into data lake.
Correct. So let us suppose we are dealing with within data lake, we have some tables, right? And we want to load that into, for example, source table to target table.
Yes.
Target table is not yet existed. As per this explanation, you said the results automatically that will get created.
Yes, automatically will be created.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And sir, one more thing. Suppose that this file is already available, that res2.txt. So it would append. Or it will.
It won't append. It will override it.
Okay, it will override.
Yeah,
so is there any? Is there any means?
You can control. You can control if file already existed. Your loading will be failed on that way. Also, you can control it.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So as far as syntax is considered, it is different from Oracle. So in Snaps and Sparks, so do we have another syntax? So do we need to learn the USQL as well to do that?
Just 2 sessions or 3 sessions if you practice, nothing. See, remaining is so only where you observe the change here only at first step and second step. Only remaining this SQL is same as normal SQL, right?
Yeah, but here is a case statement in
little such kind of little differences. That's it. Remaining everything same as once you know SQL, your 80% of data processing you can do. But some limitations.
This is very much near to Scala language, Shivaram. Scala, I mean the output at the rate
that is in the case of Spark and Scala.
Right.
You are giving RDDs, but here directly you are giving data objects.
Yeah. The language very much resembles with that Scala thing.
So
can we overwrite input table with the output table?
No. Actually, that is unethical for the data processing. Always the ethics of the data processing is write once, read many times. Don't touch existed data because you are dealing with history. History should not be modified. Okay, if you want to any transformations, write into a new file. Later you will upload into your target systems.
So in previous query, you smashed basic SQL like select star from. So that kind of statements could also be used in USQL.
Yes, already I used it now.
Yes, sir, you used it.
That is just for filter. This is just filter. The first one is simple transformation.
So it's not a big problem then.
Yes. The last one a little length applied. Suppose in our work, what is the working style? In our case, we have only 5 fields. We have only 5 fields. But when you touch real-time data, there will be 200 fields or 300 fields. Your journey will be lengthy. That's it. Work style is this one.
So here also we can join 2 text files, 2 tables,
everything.
Okay.
And the outputs you mentioned.
Example is only for sources, data lake, and target as data lake.
Yes.
The output is like this dot, and then you put the brackets across in the second example. But the first example, it says it has like outputters dot tsv. The first example.
So actually, here I have written, somebody asked me a question later that got modified, man.
Okay. But the difference is, again, the second example, you written it as CSV. So this is going to be comma separated. But the first one is TSV.
First one is what? This
You
one.
have written it as yes,
tab separated.
So between the fields, I want a tab separator. Input has commas. In the output, I want tabs.
Okay.
What are the
based on the details, what we want.
Yes, yes. Suppose you, some databases doesn't support TSV file systems for uploading. At the time, write into CSV, later upload into the target systems.
And sir, one more question. Can we handle fixed width file with this approach?
Come again? I did not.
Fixed width file. Fixed width file.
Fixed
width file.
Fixed width. I mean, the number of characters should be fixed always. 10 characters, 20 characters for a particular column. That's what he's asking.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. File without delimiter.
Yes.
At the time, apply the substring. So simply substring function is there.
Okay, got it.
Okay, substring first. Suppose first 5 characters is ID, next 10 characters is some other thing, host name, like that. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, can you please show this query in the cloud itself? Like
yeah. So please, because I did not show you the practical part at our next week is completely dedicated only for practicals, and we will finish complete all phases of USPL. Next week is only dedicated for that one.
Thanks, sir.
I have one question.
Yeah.
This USQL is used in Azure only, or?
No, not only in Azure, some other systems also. Even use SQL as a open source.
Okay.
For on-premise data processing also, you can use that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we append the output to the same file?
That looks like this is a big Latin script kind of thing, right?
You can compare with big. Suppose in some angle, if you see it appears as Scala. Okay, like that.
Sir, this sheet will be shared, which is running now, the note.
No, you're asking about this notes, huh?
Yes, sir.
Why not, man? Even I'm giving video. Why I don't give this one?
Can we output this same thing, right, to a same file, in the sense append it? So suppose
not appending. You can write into a new file. You can overwrite existed file, or you can write into a new file.
Okay, and it's not possible, sir.
So at that time, do one thing. So write one file, file 2, file 3. After that, you can apply the merging. You'll apply merge and keep into one single file. If you want all the old data, new data, everything to be into one file.
Okay. Sir, whenever you are sharing the recorded video, you can please share the notes as well. In previous, you have given all steps, right?
Yeah.
For all SQL data lake.
Yeah. So today,
I have a follow-up question on merge. So does it mean like it supports the update?
One simple example. Suppose you have 2 files. If you have 2 files, let's go back to 1 minute. Go back to first query, first task. Where is our first example? Here. Okay. Use this. I'm taking this. Just observe. I think that I have 3 files.
Okay.
Think that I have 3 files, not 1 file. I have 3 files. Just observe. What happened here? What the first statement is doing? Reading data from one particular file. Just I'm replicating this statement. Think that this is data 2. The file is profiles 2.
Okay, then we can perform SQL join.
Not join, union. Union you just apply. Join purpose different. come to the data 3. Suppose think that data 3 is reading data from third file. Data 3 is reading data from third file. Think that here first file 100 records, here 100 records, here 200 records, totally 400 records. You want to merge all the things and you want to keep into one other different file. At the time, just observe here. Suppose I am merging this data.
So for this field should be same, no?
Merge equals to. Come on, sir. All of you, please tell me answer. Tell me answer for this. I want to merge these 3 files.
Data 1.
Union.
Union. Apply
Data
union.
1 union. Apply union.
Select star from.
Data 1.
Add the red data 1. Union. I want to apply union all. I want to allow duplicates. And second, I want to read the second data from second file. For this, select star from data 2. One more union. My third statement.
Okay, but what we need to perform lookup kind of things between the files which are in a different schemas. So we can use a simple query using joins also, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But join use case, union use case is different, right? Yeah. Observe this. Forget about this transaction. And we have this merge data. Instead of writing the previous transaction, I am writing this merge write output merge.
Instead of writing at merge, there itself, can we write the query?
No. So here semicolon. You are not, observe here, you are not filtering any data. You are simply doing the activity called merging. Okay.
Can
Now
we
how
perform all SQL operations in
all
SQL?
SQL, all SQL. In the place of table or view, just give data object, man. That's it.
Hello.
Hello.
In case if we want to file, we have so many objects in data lake. If we want to send those files dynamically, do we have any script for that? Like
you can write script for that. Write the script using Python.
We can use Python in this script editor, right?
Yes, but not for USQL, not for USQL jobs. For Databricks jobs.
So we can't do dynamic looping here.
No. All of you understood this merging technique?
For appending, is there any option, so appending last week's data with current week's data, last month's data with current week's data within the same file in the output?
So last week data keep in file 1.
Yeah, current
week
week
data into file 2. Finally merge it.
In the output, at the output place, right?
Yeah, yes. I think that the daily is every day you are getting one file.
Okay.
The weekly ones, your strategy, your merging strategy is weekly ones.
Then definitely some manual intervention is required. Every week we need to put the name at the rate.
You can schedule it, right? Suppose if you are sure daily one file will be getting means like that.
So you need to write a script accordingly, which
one more beautiness here. Suppose observe here I said files.profiles.txt, right? Suppose I am not saying any file name, just only directory name I have given.
Okay, it takes
all the files within that.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, this answers.
Or like you are merging union all the 3 files in one table, right? Sorry, in one file. So
yes.
Data object can be anything. We can merge into any data set, right? Table
yes.
also we can put output.
Yes, but only one condition. You are merging 3 files means the purpose of each file should be same.
Okay.
Suppose
should have same schema.
Same schema and same purpose. Suppose first file is employee file, second file is sales file, third file is product file, means it won't work out. Because the merging operation syntactically that will work out, but like manipulation is wrong.
Okay. So you mean
then we should go for join for that
case.
Joins
for that case.
Yeah. For merging.
And also, if we are using union also, there will be some duplicate that also, right?
Duplicates will be allowed. If you don't want duplicate, apply union.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want duplicates, apply union all.
Sir, I have one small doubt, sir. Like actually, like all the CSV and TSV files, basically these somewhere in the Azure cloud, they need to be stored, right, sir? Or that the
Yes,
runtime
yes. Already you're reading data from a file means already file should be available in your data lake. First of all, your first work is first upload file into data lake, then start working, start analyzing this data.
Okay, like other than blob, we can directly store the files in data lake. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yes, correct. Thank you.
So, sir, one question so do we have ID for USQL, or means Azure will provide the platform to write this type of query?
So Azure will provide. So whenever you enter into the data lake analytics, you will find the option called script.
Okay.
Okay, if you click on the script, editor will be open. There you can write this code. In our next week, completely we will dedicate only for execution of this that USQL.
Okay.
This USQL kind of service in Azure that is called as JAAS. What is that? JAS? Huh?
Okay.
Job as a service. Job as a service. Yeah, please.
So this USQL is for both structured as well as unstructured data.
Yeah. USQL can process structured and semi-structured, but not unstructured.
But not unstructured. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, sir. One doubt. See, you were telling from my data only. If you mention that, it will take all text files from there, right? So no need to write 3 different data tables, right?
Think that this is in my directory, the second file is in your directory, third file is in another person directory. At the time, you specify the path. If only these 3 files are there into one single directory, just give the directory name. Automatically, it will read it.
Then no need to take 3 different data variables. Single data variable I can take.
That's it.
Okay.
Sir, in the from clause, if you want only.
Sir, variables name should be same.
I'm asking something.
Yeah, please ask.
For example, in my data folder, if you have 5 files and we want only 3 of them,
then
so can we do that?
Then this is the technique.
Okay.
So you have 100 files, but you want to read only 3 specific files. Do like this. Suppose you want to read all the 100 files, just give only one statement that to specify that directory as input path.
Right.
So, sir, can we use a wild character here? Wildcard character?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so suppose that if there is a date specific or month specific, then we can go with
yes.
And sir, we have a file which have a millions of record. So do we have a like any splitter function we can load directly? It will load direct.
Repeat the question. You have millions of records. Then
in the file, so I want to load into the .csv files.
Okay, you
and
can load
it. We can directly load it, or is there any splitter function we can use?
No need to use any splitter function. Suppose you want, whenever the time comes to distribute the data into multiple files, from single source to multiple files. Suppose your requirement is, again, I'm coming back to that example. Suppose let's talk about this profiles one. I have 100 employees and that data to think that 200 employees here, 200 employees, total number of employees are here 400. But what I wanted to do is all males I want to keep into one file, all females I want to keep it to one file. In this case, I go like this. I split the data like this. Suppose let's say males equals to, all of you tell me, select star from.
Merge.
At the rate match.
At the rate match.
Where?
Gender equal to male.
Second, same thing I'm doing for females.
Let's start from A merge, where gender equal to F.
Sir, is USQL case sensitive?
Yes, sir. So first, in the first step, I write at the rate males. Next step I write the same thing. Funds.
Sir, when we using from other directory files, if the column names are different from other person's directory, so does it will happen?
At the time, directly don't apply merge at the time. Directly you should not apply. First transfer, you have to bring them all files. You need to bring them into some neutral condition.
Okay.
Suppose in the file 1 the schema is like this. ID name are available, salary available. In the file 2, think that the schema is different. First name here, next salary here, next ID here. Then directly can you merge these two files? If you merge,
No.
wrong manipulation. At the time, what you have to do, you have to neutralize the schema.
Okay.
Convert to file 2 schema as file 1 or file 1 schema as file 2. First of all, you have to make it neutral and then merge it and then write into the target.
Okay. In case, for example, in file 2, ID as a custom ID, something like that, there is a different ID name. In such case, we need to use as a rename or?
No need to rename.
Okay.
Only column position is important.
Oh, okay. Even different column names also it will take.
Yeah, like while extracting, we should be taking a format, right, sir?
Yes.
Like
Yes. That's why in a separate file you will take it. As a separate file you will take this one as a separate extract.
To view this, Shriram, okay, we are loading into output file. I want to see the data is there or not properly. Then
you just first a simple technique. If it is 10 records, you can check it manually. Okay.
Correct. If it is a big file,
if it is 1 crore record, in the second file, if it is 2 crore record. So first you do one technique. First apply select count of file 1. Think that object is file 1. Count of star from file 1 at the rate file 1. Think that here I got the reply as 1 crore.
No. This is not my question. I'm talking about the output. Okay, our data loaded in the output. Okay, output is not.
Just I will come to your question.
Okay.
First you are before checking the output, you are tallying with input. Suppose count of star from file 2. Okay, think that you have performed the operation called merge and you have finally written the data into file 3. Come on. How many rows are expected here in the file 3? If file 3 is our target.
3 crores. If it is a union. Yeah.
If it is the 3 crores.
If it is a union without any conditions.
Any filter. Then finally, what you have to do is select apply the count on file 3. Definitely the result should be 3 crore. If result is 3 crore,
I want to view the data, the sample data. I want to open that file.
You want to open that file, simply double click. That's it. Just click on that file, automatically file will be opened. But if it is
if it is an Excel, for example, Microsoft will be using that Microsoft Excel, or how that will open? For example, it is an Excel sheet. Okay?
Nothing, man. Whatever the file may be, the file data. Suppose if I open this file, the file data will be like this. So same thing, whatever you are observing on the notepad, same thing you will see on the data lake.
Why I'm asking this specific question is definitely I have seen some lot of problems when the file size is very, very high. Opening the file itself will be becoming a difficult thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about billions of records. Will that file open?
Yeah, definitely that will be open. But you can't see all the things. Okay. Our human analogy is not enough to read all the records, but file will be open.
Sir, one question from my side.
Yes.
So means I have seen this type of problem that the file size is very high actually. So is there any possibility in USQL that we can split the file in like my file is 1 GB, so 300 MB, I can split it 300 MB and last file should be 100 MB like that.
Not volume based splitting, condition based splitting you can do like this.
Okay.
Okay. Or else count based condition. Suppose if you generate one unique sequence number for that, first 1 lakh records into file 1, next 1 lakh records into other file, like that you can do that.
Is that possible?
Yes, possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Not volume based splitting.
So
condition.
Sir, is it like reading the volumes in chunks?
Not particular chunk. You are working with entire file. Suppose if your file in the backend, automatically the file got divided into the chunks, automatically parallel process will happen here.
Can we divide data based on some file partition, like based on some column, like the way we have partitioning in Hive?
No. So if you want to do like that, simple technique, simple answer, go for conditional splits. Okay.
Like, sir, if we have 100 columns in one file, and like as we want to split into 10 columns of like 10 files, so can we do?
No. At the time, if you want to do like this, what you have to say? Same answer again, same answer. Suppose in the select, give here column 1 to up to 10. This is as data 1. In another select, column 11 to
20.
column 20. In another select, column 21 to 200, like that. Now write first data object separately, second data object separately, on that way. Okay.
Sir, here row counts will be not there, right? How to select?
Pardon?
Here, because in this case only txt files, right? We cannot count by row, right? How we can select rows 1 to 10 or 20 to 11 to 20, so on.
I am just saying as example, man. You have to say the field name, ID, name, like this. You have to specify the field name.
Okay.
Sir, how to process multiple sheets in an Excel? Like I have multiple sheets in a single file.
Yeah, this is one of the basic regular requirement. One Excel file. Sir, please go mute, sir. I will explain. Just mute it and I will explain. Suppose in our Excel file, there are 10 sheets. First of all, as a preprocessor, each sheet has a separate CSV file. That means convert all the 10 sheets into 10 CSV files, load that file into this Azure Data Lake, and then process it. If you want to apply the match like that. But sheet to sheet, if purpose is different, later you can apply the joins like that. Okay.
So I got 2 questions to ask.
Yeah, please.
Sir, can you share the cheat sheet for this one? Like you did a basic CRUD application in here. So that would help us to do a basic knowledge about all these queries.
Yeah.
And we can form it by the next class. So
Yes.
can you just share the cheat sheet and also just give us a small assignment like that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, you will be getting assignment today only. I will announce into the group. Okay. So all of you, I think better stops are time 10:06.
Sir, we can't divide the records and load it into separate tables, right?
Pardon?
Like I want to record 10 records into one output file and under 10 records into another output file.
Sir, someone is speaking. Now speak, sir, please.
Like I want to divide 10 records into, and I want to load it into one output file, and I want to under 10 records into another output file. Can we?
Anything we can do, sir. Anything we can do. Read once, write many times. Read and process, write many times in the sense, write into a new files. Anything we can do. Only the technique, how to apply the technique. So for this, the thing to learn all these things, if you observe the code, everything is SQL based coding. Okay, anything
next
we can
week
do.
also same link, Shivaram?
Yeah, next week also same link, but concept is completely the practical work. Okay, so I will demonstrate all these different kinds of real-time scenario. I will demonstrate you different scenarios like data cleansing, transformations. Okay, so at the time
So
of
trial setup and all we'll discuss next week only, or
next week we will, because the time is already up. So meanwhile, I try to gather a few more people. A lot of messages they are applying because already all groups got filled.
Sir, is there any prerequisites for us for the next session?
Nothing, sir. Just attend yesterday recording and today recordings.
No, sir. Like we have to do the practical, so we'll do it on the go only. Like we have
on go you can
get
do
an
that.
account.
Meanwhile, just if you have card, just to create account at Azure. Go for portal.azure.com just to create it.
Okay.
So even for so many people here, card is not available. And also one more thing, already the persons who have card already the trial period got completed for them. So for that I am planning with some other paid account here already. Sir, please go mute, sir. So already I am having some paid account for the Azure. So I try to create users for you. Suppose the people who are not able to get the card, or if your trial part is completed, so I will create users for you with my Azure account. Okay, so first let me check with how many users and what will be the budget for me, how much budget will be to me, everything. Let me verify that. Okay, so for that, if you could not able to do that, I do help like this. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It will be very great.
If this is something that we have to
When are we
pay,
gonna start?
hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. God damn. Listen, so if you need help, let's say you have 160, 200 something users, that's something I'm willing to pay to help you make it easier on you. You're doing a lot already, so.
Sir, someone can explain that question to me, because I did not understand that.
So you're saying that you're going to see how many users you will be able to create. If there's a budgetary limitations, I'm willing to pay to make that easy for you, because you're doing a lot already. The classes are already free, so you shouldn't put so much burden. I think the students, we should be willing to help out on that, monetary wise.
Yes, sir. You don't worry.
Sir, he is asking about that if he can do, or we can do some monetary help in budget actually. Yeah, I think this is a question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. It's just a statement that if you find it where it's a lot of, it might cost you a lot to create the accounts, because I don't know if they're going to be admin accounts or whatnot, but I'm willing to help you. I think all of us should be able to give you something so you'd be able to create the accounts if there's some type of limitations.
Okay, sir. We will definitely plan about it after discussing the discussion with all the people. Okay. So max to max, I try to create the accounts for you. If you could not able to do that, remaining, if it is training part, no compromise. The training, complete training, and all the videos, everything is completely free. Even a lot of people are trying to convince me to charge something for the training. Okay, so no fee. You are putting your efforts, you are putting your time. That is the only fee for me. So please enjoy and please keep learning, and let's grow together. Okay.
When we can expect the new SQL and Python batches? So because we are completely new.
Today only I will announce. If you are not in group, just ping me. I will add you into the group.
No,
I'm also not added into the WhatsApp group, so I will ping you. I got your number.
Okay. Just message. Just put me message, like I will do that.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for attending.
When would be the next class? I missed that one actually.
Saturday. Next Saturday
at 7 a.m.
Yes,
Okay.
Same link.
Sir, your introduction is over.
Yeah, today you mentioned like you'll be introducing.
Yeah, sir, introduction is pending.
Okay, let's talk in.
Because no one will have this much of patience, sir. I mean, I have taken few of the trainings outside, but no one is giving any direct answers. Whatever we ask, they will skip something by saying any other unwanted things. They will just simply say later we'll check, later we'll inform. That's it. So this much of training, this much of patience, we haven't seen any trainers. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, thanks for appreciating me, and I feel shy if you appreciate me like this. Please stop. Okay, just all of you.
Could you please introduce yourself, sir?
Please. So I'm feeling very guilty to introduce myself. Please go to Google and type the name Bharat Sriram. Okay.
Bharat Sriram.
Yes, Bharat Sriram. Okay, you will get.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the objective of the free? Because everyone might be other trainers will be
charged, right? Yeah.
No. Question is invalid question. I'm discarding this question.
But really great, sir. Really great, sir.
Okay, thanks much, sir. Next
thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.